Nobel Prize in Economics, it was not in the will of the Alfred Nobel. This Nobel Prize in Economics started in 1968. And in 1969, the first award was given in Nobel Prize. This creative destruction is taking place. So, more and more innovation will come in the economy because of favorable environments, and also we will be having sustained growth. And he told us when we can grow, when we are having scientific temper in the society. Society is open to accept new changes. So we need to have scientific temper. We are having challenges of inequality also. We are having challenges of health, education, job losses. So many challenges at the same time we have to face. But still, we need to take a balance and we need to go for more and more innovation. Namaskar everyone. We are going to discuss today about Nobel Prize in Economics 2025. So these are the three persons, those who got Nobel Prize in Economics: Joel Mokyr, Philippe Aghion, and Peter Howitt. We can know little bit about this Nobel Prize in Economics. So Nobel Prize in Economics, it was not in the will of the Alfred Nobel. This Nobel Prize in Economics started in 1968. And in 1969, the first award was given in Nobel Prize. This is awarded by Royal Swedish Academy of Science. Correct. If we talk about Indians who got Nobel Prize in economics, we have two names, Amartya Sen and Abhijit Vinayak Banerjee, Indian born. Correct. Now we'll try to see what these three economists they have done because of which they got this Nobel Prize in economics. So Joel Mokyr, Philippe Aghion, Peter Howitt. These three are the economists, and half of the share is given to Joel Mokyr and half of the share is given to these two economists. Joel Mokyr is basically economic historian, and these two are growth theorists. Joel Mokyr told us about prerequisites of sustained growth through technology progress. And these two told us about creative destruction, how growth sustained because of this creative destruction. Correct. And we also know the prize amount. That is roughly, if we see in terms of rupee, this is 10.28 or 10.3 crore rupee. This is the prize money. Correct. Now we'll try to understand what they have done, what they have explained, and why it is important. We'll also try to see the Indian context, what we can get from these studies in Indian context, how we can replicate that, how we can use them for Indian growth. Also, we'll try to see what are different critiques about these studies. First, we'll talk about Joel Mokyr. What he said? He said he gives us first the background. What is that background? He said in last 200 years, in just last 200 years, we have seen sustained growth, continued growth in terms of GDP per capita. Correct. He said why, and basically he is talking about what happened after industrial revolution. After industrial revolution only, we have seen sustained growth. But he said why this growth was not sustained, was not continued earlier. Provided this example in front of us. Earlier also, we had discoveries, we had innovations, but still we did not achieve sustained growth. Like earlier, we had windmills also, we had printing press, we had Newton's principle. Before this industrial revolution, new ideas came, new innovation came, but still the growth was not sustained. But after industrial revolution, in just 200 years, we we can see sustained growth. We can see sustained growth. So why this happened? He said some preconditions must be there. Prerequisites for growth. Not just growth, for sustained growth, continued growth. So, what are these prerequisites, precondition? He said, even if innovation is taking place, new technologies are coming, then also we cannot witness sustained growth. Why? Because there are some preconditions which we need to fulfill. Otherwise, that growth, because of that innovation, would be short lived. And again, we'll see stagnation. He said the first and foremost thing which is very important, that is role of knowledge. He said knowledge plays very important role in sustained growth. Two parts to it. One is propositional knowledge, and another is prescriptive knowledge. So this propositional knowledge is basically the science why things happen. Basically the answer to why things happen. Then what is prescriptive knowledge? How things are done. Correct. So two subcategories of knowledge. One is science, another is technology or practicality. He said if both the things, science and technology, if both are interacting with each other, then only we can have sustained growth. Then we can have sustained growth. If they're not interacting with each other, science and technology, then we cannot witness sustained growth. Another thing is, he said, we need to have mechanical competence. The second thing he said, we need to have mechanical competence. What is this mechanical competence? Basically, right now, if we see engineers, they are having competence, they are working on technology, and they are replicating that. Industries are producing goods. Correct. So he said if there is collaboration between industries and academia, then only we can have sustained growth. Otherwise, if this collaboration is not there, if you're not having mechanical competence, there will not be further production. Production can take place for shorter duration of time. Growth will happen, but after some time, if it is not diffused, more universities are not there, colleges are not there, which are not producing engineers, then what can happen? The technology will be gone. We cannot have growth. We cannot have growth which can sustain for future. So, second thing he said, there should be mechanical competence. Otherwise, it the economies cannot grow. And the third thing, And the very important thing, he told us that societies must be open to change. That means we need to have a culture of growth. So, if scientific discoveries are taking place, societies must listen to it, must adopt it, must appreciate it. Correct. If it is not happening in the society, the economies will not grow. Societies must be open to change. So he has taken this view because of the churches in Europe. So they were having a lot of dominance. So he said if churches were that much dominant, if new technologies are coming, new discoveries are coming, if they are saying it is not worth to accept, then innovation would stop. So if societies they're not accepting it, like we can take example of in India when computer technology came, then people started protesting कि we are not going to have computers because it is going to kill jobs. So if this way it is happening, further innovation we cannot expect in economies. Correct. So these three things are very important. And also he said there must be accumulation of knowledge. What do you mean by accumulation of knowledge? Like industrial revolution, it started with steam engine, went on for like trains, then factories were established. What is happening? This knowledge is being accumulated. They came up with this, then factories also used it. So this is being accumulated. That knowledge is being accumulated over years. This knowledge is not gone. We can take the example of ICT, information and communication technology. Because of this knowledge only, it was accumulated, it was diffused. Then what happened? We are having right now artificial intelligence. So we also need to accumulate knowledge for sustained growth. Otherwise, growth cannot take place. Growth cannot be sustained for future. So in short, we can say what he said, growth is not natural. It can survive only if societies protects science, openness, and freedom to innovate. Then only we can see sustained growth. This is what Joel Mokyr said. After then, we can understand about the second part of this Nobel Prize. That is the idea of creative destruction. That is the idea of creative destruction. So in this, what is being told that industries will invest in research and development, R&D. Industries will still they are investing in R&D. Because of this investment in R&D, they can have innovation. Because of innovation, there will be new technologies coming in the market. Because of this new technology coming in the market, old technologies would get replaced by this new technology. And in this process, what would happen? If old technology is getting replaced, because of this new technology, suppose this firm is A will be able to recover the cost of this R&D, recover the cost, and also would be making profit. How this can happen? We can think of like they can have patents. They can have patent, right? This new technology can be used by this firm only. There is a patent, right? Because of that, they are only producing that good or service, and they are only making the profit. In the meantime, what would happen? Because of competition, because of competition, another firm B can come up and can innovate another new technology. Another new technology. Suppose this is at level 3. This has developed level 4, even newer than this technology. So because of this, what would happen? This technology is gone. This becomes old technology, and they will make profit. They will recover their R&D cost. So what is happening in this process? New technologies, new innovations are coming. New innovation, that is creation. Then old technologies are replaced. That means there is destruction. There is destruction. And now, because of competition, there will be new technologies coming in, further new technologies coming in, further new technologies coming in. So in this process, what is happening? Continuous leapfrogging. Because of this continuous leapfrogging, that means A, B, C, D firms are there. A is coming up with new technology, then B is coming up with further new technology. Again, A is coming with another new technology, or C is coming up with new technology. So there is a leapfrogging. Because of this continuous leapfrogging, we can see growth, more productivity, and it can sustain in future also. So this is what he tried to explain. Creative destruction. Economies will grow. He also said, he emphasized, this cannot happen completely because of market. They said, very important role state can play in this. So what is the role of state here? So he said, first thing, which is policy. If policies are not balanced, then this new innovation thing can stop. Why? Because if patent rights are not there, then companies, firms, they will not be having any incentive to innovate. Because if they have innovated one new technology, they didn't get the patent rights. That right can be taken by another firm or the government. So that firm will not be able to recover R&D cost. Also, they will not be able to make profit. So there will not be any incentive for them. So policy is very important. Role of state is very important to provide a favorable environment. That is what we call about ease of doing business. Ease of doing business. Second thing he said, that is also with respect to policy itself, that is of competition. They said, if competition is too little, too less, then there will not be any innovation. If competition is too much, then also there will not be any innovation. He said this is basically inverted U diagram which can represent this thing. Why it is so? If too little competition is there, too little competition, only one company is making goods, there is no competition. So there is no need for innovation for this company because they are already making profit. So they will not invest any amount in research and development because they are making profit and there is no competitor. Another scenario is there are so many competitors in the market. There are so many, too much competition is there. If too much competition is there, if a firm is making innovation, making a new technology, because other firms are also there in the market, too many firms are there and every firm is investing in R&D. So simply what can happen, in 1 week they can come up with newer technology, or in very short duration they can come up with new technology which can replace this technology which is innovated by firm A. So the time duration is very less. If time duration is very less, this firm will not be able to recover R&D losses, R&D amount, or also they will not be able to make a profit. So in this process, if too much competition is there, these firms, they will not be having any incentive to invest in R&D because too much competitors is there. Everyone is investing in R&D. So how we can earn money, earn profit, recover R&D expenses? Correct. So both the things are there. So what he said, we need to have a balanced competition. We need to have a balanced competition through different policies. Like we are having competition commission of India in competition commission of India, that is balancing the competition in Indian economy. Correct. So there must be a regulator who is overlooking all these things so that not too much competition, not too less competition. A balanced competition must be there. That would be providing more innovation in the economy, more newer technology we can have. Correct. And also for research and development, in the policies itself, the role of state may, we can say, they can provide incentives like tax incentives. Correct. Or investment, public investment, government investment in R&D. Then we can have new innovation in the economy. So that is what creative destruction. Correct. Creative destruction. Temporary monopoly. This is happening when A is producing goods and services because of a new technology, because of a new technology. And that new technology got patent rights. Because of this patent right, this technology can be used by this firm A only. So what is happening right now, this company A is having temporary monopoly. No one else can produce the goods or services with the help of this new technology. But that is temporary. Why? Because of competition, other players will come and they will be innovating like higher technologies. Correct. So that is what about creative destruction. So we can have examples like earlier we had DVDs. Earlier we had DVDs that got replaced by Netflix. Correct. Earlier, like we were having what we can say basic phones or featured phones, Nokia. Now we are having smartphones. What is happening here? These are destructed, these technologies are being created. Destructed, created. Correct. So this way, this creative destruction is taking place. So more and more innovation will come in the economy because of favorable environments, and also we will be having sustained growth. We will be having sustained growth. So basically, John Mokyr told us about historical perspective, and these two, they are telling us the perspective about the future and also what is happening right now. So because of this importance, these three have given Nobel Prize. Now we'll come to this aspect, like what we can learn from these theories. Correct. So if we talk about policy insights for India, what we can take from these explanations. So the first thing is, like John Mokyr, what he told us about historical perspective, and he told us when we can grow, when we are having scientific temper in the society. Society is open to accept new changes. So we need to have scientific temper. If it is not, we need to develop that. Yes, we are having scientific temper in our society, we need to make it further better. Then he said we need to have a very good collaboration between industries and universities. Like right now we can see there is a mismatch. What industries are demanding the skill set and what universities or colleges are providing. There is a mismatch. Correct. So we need to have more collaboration of industries and academia so that there can be some changes in academia, what kind of skill we are providing to the students so that it can be matched with the demand of the industries. Correct. Another thing is what, if we talk about other two economists, they told us about creative destruction. Creative destruction. So for that, what we need to have more balanced competition, more balanced competition. We need to have better ease of doing business. Correct. Also, we need to invest more in research and development. Government needs to invest more. Private players, how they can invest more by providing incentives to them by government, tax cuts, and other benefits. Also, we can have this thing in our mind that these uh, two economists, Howitt and Aghion, they said about frontier technologies or frontier economy and catch-up economy. Frontier economies, we can have example of USA, Japan, UK, Germany. These are what? Frontier economy. They are innovating cutting edge technologies. China also. They are innovating cutting edge technologies. But these catch up economies, what they are doing, these economies, they are basically adopting new technologies and also they are doing basic innovation. They are doing basic innovation, which is not cutting edge. Cutting edge means uh, we can take the example of deep tech. What is happening like in AI, artificial intelligence, nanotech, semiconductor? These are cutting edge technologies. So we can have more investment, more innovation in frontier technologies. Frontier technologies. Then we can become part of global leadership. Correct. Also, one more thing which is very important, managing destruction. Creative destruction, we have understood. New technologies are coming, they are replacing old technologies. So, if old technologies are getting replaced, there are job losses also. There are job losses also. If there are job losses, then what can be done? Government should be involved in skilling and reskilling so that these jobless people, they can get into mainstream and can get jobs. Also, like MSME sector in India, they are also facing the heat because of AI, new technology. So government should manage destruction. Government should provide funds so that they can go further, they can sustain themselves, and also they can provide training, they can provide skilling so that they can catch up. Correct. That is what the policy insights we can have for India. Then these are the things like what we can do. Digital public infrastructure we can improve, startup ecosystem, skilling and reskilling. We need to encourage frontier innovation, not just become part of catch up economies. We need to be leader in developing frontier technologies. Now if we talk about critiques, like if we talk about this, the first part, Joel Mokyr, he studied about the history and told us about the economic progress, how it happened. Some precondition was provided by Joel Mokyr. But one thing was missing. What was that thing? That it was basically Europe centric. What was happening in Europe? What happened after then? What changes took place? Correct. And also, he did not consider about the innovation, the new technology which were developed in India, China, and other Islamic countries. Also, he did not discuss about colonial power. Colonial power. Why? Because after Industrial Revolution, Britain made colonies all over the world. And from all over the world, they extracted resources and they made finished products and they make they made these colonies as market. They extracted raw material and sold finished products in these market. So because of these colonial era is having a lot of contribution for sustained growth in Europe. So in the analysis of Joel Mokyr, this colonial thing was missing, which we can see is having a lot of importance. Correct. Then also we can think about innovation, creative destruction, because if innovation is taking place, it is going to have impact on growth. But it can ignore inequality. It can ignore inequality. It can happen like if a country is growing, if we take example for developing economies developing economies. So what can happen? Developing economies, they're not having a lot of capital. Developing economies, they're not having a lot of like research institutes. Although if they started investing a lot of fund in research and development, at the same time, they are available with less funds for balancing or removing, eliminating inequality in the society. This can happen. That is one scenario. Another thing is social disruption from creative destruction. Like because of these new technologies, what can happen? Old technologies are gone. If old technologies are gone, so the people who are dependent on those technologies, the employees, there will be job losses. If there will be job losses, if in that country already there is a lot of inequality, what can happen? This inequality will further get widened. That also can be a critique. So there must be a balance. There must be a balance. That is why it is also being said we need to manage this destruction. Otherwise, this inequality will be more. And also in Indian context, it is being said that you might have heard about this middle income trap. In middle income trap, what is being said? Like countries like India can fall into middle income trap. That means they cannot become higher income countries or developed economies. Why? Because they cannot become frontier economy. That means they are going to be just catch up economies. What does that mean? This means if India is not innovating a lot, not coming up with new technologies, the growth we cannot have sustained. Like India want to have growth of 7 to 8%. So how we can sustain it? If we can sustain it, then only we can become a developed economy, a higher income country. So this growth can be sustained only through innovation. But we are having challenges of inequality also. We are having challenges of health, education, job losses, so many challenges at the same time we have to face. But still, we need to take a balance and we need to go for more and more innovation and also at the same time manage the destruction. So that is what we can get from these theories. Correct. Now, if we sum up, we can conclude that what these three economists have told us, basically, they have told us about the past, what happened in the past. They told us about what is happening in current and also what can happen in future in the context of economic progress. Correct. Prerequisites, then creative destruction. That is what we can get from these three economists' theories. Thank you, everyone. And also, we can have one question which can come in means type question. That is, innovation driven growth is as much about culture and institutions as it is about technology. Discuss in light of 2025 Nobel Prize in Economics. Correct. So that is what we can get from this discussion. Thank you.